A routine traffic stop in Atlanta turns into a nightmare when a state trooper mistakes a composed black woman for someone he can intimidate. "Step out of the vehicle now, or I'll drag you out myself." His fist pounds her window so hard the glass shakes, his other hand already reaching for his cuffs. Patricia's hands tremble on the steering wheel, her throat tight, eyes blinking back the sting of humiliation as cars slow down to watch. Trooper Derek Hammond stands there with his chest puffed out, sunglasses hiding his eyes, smirking like he's done this 100 times before because he has. What he doesn't know is that the nanny he's about to arrest has a phone number that connects directly to the governor's chief of staff. Patricia Cole had been driving the same route for 6 years. Marietta Highway into downtown Atlanta, every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. sharp. She picked up the Henderson twins from their private academy, brought them home, helped with homework, made dinner, and stayed until their parents came home from the hospital, both surgeons. That's what Trooper Hammond saw when he ran her plates. A modest 2015 Honda Accord with a faded bumper sticker that read "Blessed beyond measure." What he didn't see was the doctoral dissertation sitting in her back seat, or the university faculty ID clipped to her purse, or the framed commendation letter from the mayor's office tucked in her glove compartment. He saw a middle-aged black woman in a car he decided didn't belong in this part of town at this time of day. So he flipped on his lights. Patricia checked her mirrors, signaled, and pulled over immediately. Hands on the wheel. Windows down. She taught her sons this. She'd live this. But calm wasn't going to be enough today. Hammond swaggered up to her window like he owned the asphalt beneath his boots. License and registration. Now. No greeting. No explanation. Patricia kept her voice even. "Good afternoon, officer. May I ask why I was pulled over?" His jaw clenched. "I don't owe you an explanation. License. Registration. Last time I'm asking nicely." She reached slowly for her purse. "I'm just getting my wallet. Hands where I can see them." His hand went to his holster. Patricia froze. Her heart hammered. A bead of sweat rolled down her temple. Traffic crawled past. A woman in an SUV stared. A man in a truck shook his head but kept driving. No one stopped. "I'm reaching for my wallet," Patricia said again, slower this time. "It's in my purse. On the passenger seat." Hammond's lips curled. "You people always got an excuse." She handed him her license with steady fingers, though inside she was screaming. He barely glanced at it. "Patricia Cole. This your car?" "Yes, sir." "You sure about that?" Her stomach dropped. "I'm sure. I've owned it for 4 years." "Step out." "Excuse me?" "I said step out of the vehicle. Now." "Officer, I haven't done anything." His fist slammed her window. "Now." Patricia opened the door, legs shaking as she stepped onto the shoulder. Cars slowed. Phones came out. She saw at least 2 people recording. Hammond circled her like a predator. "You got any weapons on you? Drugs? Anything I need to know about?" "No, sir." "Turn around." Hands on the car. Her voice cracked. "Officer, please. I'm a nanny. I'm on my way to pick up 2 children. I haven't broken any laws." He leaned in close, his breath hot on her neck. "You were swerving. Looked impaired to me. So either you cooperate, or I arrest you right here for obstruction. Your choice, ma'am." The word dripped with mockery. Patricia placed her hands on the hood. The metal was hot from the sun. Her palms burned. Her dignity burned hotter. Hammond patted her down roughly, then cuffed her. "Wait, what are you arresting me for?" "Reckless driving. Failure to comply. Resisting." "I didn't resist anything." "Tell it to the judge." He shoved her toward his cruiser. A woman on the sidewalk called out, "She didn't do nothing." Hammond whipped around. "Mind your business unless you want to join her." The woman went quiet. Patricia was pushed into the back seat. The door slammed. The world outside became muffled, distant. But this was only the beginning. At 2:47 p.m., the Henderson twins stood outside their school, backpacks on, eyes scanning the pickup line. "No, Miss Patricia." By 3:05, the school secretary called their mother. Dr. Lydia Henderson was in the middle of a consult when her phone buzzed. She stepped out, listened, and her face went pale. She's never late. Not once in 6 years. She tried Patricia's phone. Straight to voicemail. She tried again. Nothing. Lydia's husband, Dr. Marcus Henderson, left surgery prep and made calls. To neighbors. To friends. To the police. We'd like to report a missing person. The dispatcher sounded bored. How long has she been missing? An hour. Sir, we can't file a report until it's been 24 hours. She picks up our children every week. She has never been late. Something is wrong. I understand your concern, but Marcus hung up. What he didn't know was that Patricia was sitting in a holding cell downtown, still in handcuffs, still waiting to make a phone call. Patricia sat on a cold metal bench, wrists raw from the cuffs. They'd been removed, but the ache remained. A young officer passed by. She called out to him. "Excuse me, I was told I could make a phone call." He didn't even look at her. "Someone will get to you." An hour passed. Then another. At 5:30 p.m., a different officer finally unlocked the cell. "You get one call. Make it count." Patricia dialed Lydia's number from memory. It rang twice. "Patricia?" "Lydia, I'm so sorry. Where are you? We've been terrified. The twins were stranded. Are you okay?" Patricia's voice broke. "I'm in jail." Silence. "You're what?" "I was pulled over. The officer said I was swerving. I wasn't. He arrested me anyway." "Lydia, I need help." "What's the charge?" "Reckless driving. Resisting arrest." "None of it's true." Lydia's voice turned sharp. "Who arrested you?" "Trooper Derek Hammond." Lydia wrote it down. "Sit tight. Do not say another word to anyone. We're getting you out." The line went dead. If only Hammond knew who he was talking to. Lydia didn't call a lawyer first. She called her college roommate, Judge Valerie Stokes. Valerie picked up on the first ring. "Lydia K. Val, I need a favor. Right now." Valerie heard the tone. She sat up. "Talk to me." Lydia explained everything. The stop. The arrest. Patricia's spotless record. Her 6 years of loyalty. The twins waiting at school. Valerie's voice went cold. "What precinct?" "Downtown Atlanta. Zone 3. I'll make some calls." "Don't worry." Valerie hung up and dialed the chief of police directly. "Chief Brennan, it's Judge Stokes. I need to know why a woman named Patricia Cole is sitting in your holding cell right now on bogus charges." Brennan pulled up the report. His face tightened. "Trooper Hammond called it in. Says she was driving recklessly, refused to comply. She's a doctoral candidate at Georgia State. She's been a nanny for one of Atlanta's top surgical families for 6 years. She has 0 priors. Does this sound like someone who resists arrest?" Brennan paused. "I'll look into it." "You'll do more than look into it. I want bodycam footage. Everything. And I want her released within the hour." "Your Honor." "Within the hour, Chief." She hung up. And just when things seemed calm, Chief Brennan pulled the footage himself. He sat in his office, door closed, and watched. He saw Patricia's hands on the wheel. He saw her polite responses. He saw Hammond's aggression. The fist on the window. The hand on the holster. The rough shove into the cruiser. No swerving. No reckless driving. No resistance. Brennan's jaw tightened. He called Internal Affairs. "We've got a problem." At 6:45 p.m., Patricia was brought into an interview room. A woman in a gray suit sat across from her. Detective Angela Morton, Internal Affairs. "Ms. Cole, I'm going to ask you some questions. You're not under arrest anymore. You're free to go. But I need to understand what happened today." Patricia's voice was hoarse. "I was pulled over for no reason. I was polite. I complied. He arrested me anyway." "Did Trooper Hammond give you a reason for the stop?" "He said I was swerving. I wasn't." Morton slid a tablet across the table. "This is the dashcam footage. Tell me if this matches what you remember." Patricia watched herself drive. Steady in her lane. Turn signal. Smooth pullover. Her eyes filled with tears. "I told the truth." Morton nodded slowly. I believe you. She slid another paper forward. This is a complaint form. If you choose to file, it will trigger a formal investigation into Trooper Hammond's conduct. Patricia stared at the paper. Her hands still ached. Her chest still burned. She picked up the pen. Be honest, what would you have done? By 8 p.m., Patricia was released. Lydia and Marcus were waiting outside. Lydia hugged her so tight Patricia almost couldn't breathe. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. We should have been there. We should have. Marcus cut in. We're filing a lawsuit. Civil rights violation. False arrest. All of it. Patricia shook her head. I just want to go home. You will, Marcus said. But not before we make sure he can't do this to anyone else. Lydia handed her a bottle of water. Judge Stokes has already contacted the governor's office. This isn't going away quietly. Patricia's hands shook as she opened the bottle. I just wanted to pick up your kids. Lydia's eyes filled. I know. The next morning, Trooper Derek Hammond walked into the precinct like it was any other day. Captain Ellis was waiting. Hammond. My office. Now. Hammond frowned. What's this about? Sit down. Ellis slid a folder across the desk. Patricia Cole. Ring a bell? Hammond shrugged. Yeah. Arrested her yesterday. Reckless driver. Resisted arrest. Really? Ellis opened the folder. Because the dashcam shows none of that. Hammond's face went red. She was swerving. She wasn't. She refused to comply. She handed you her license immediately. She resisted. Ellis slammed his hand on the desk. She did nothing. And you arrested her anyway. You humiliated her. You scared her. You lied on the report. Hammond's mouth opened. You've got 3 complaints in the last year. 2 settled quietly. But this one? Ellis leaned forward. This one's not going away. Judge Stokes is involved. The governor's office is asking questions. Internal Affairs is building a case. Hammond's voice dropped. It was a judgment call. It was a power trip. Ellis stood. You're on administrative leave effective immediately. Badge and gun. Now. Hammond's hands shook as he set them on the desk. This is bullshit. No, Ellis said quietly. What you did to that woman was bullshit. Get out. But here's the part that changed everything. 3 days later, one of the bystanders who recorded the stop uploaded the video to Twitter. Within 6 hours, it had 400,000 views. By the next morning, it was on the local news. By noon, it was national. The headline read, Georgia trooper arrests innocent black woman, body cam footage exposes lies. Patricia's face was blurred, but her voice was clear. I'm a nanny. I'm on my way to pick up 2 children. Hammond's voice was clear too. You people always got an excuse. The comments poured in. This is disgusting. She was so calm and he still arrested her. How many others has he done this to? Lock him up. The Georgia NAACP issued a statement. The ACLU offered legal support. The governor's office launched a formal review of the state patrol's training procedures. And Patricia Cole, who'd spent 6 years caring for other people's children, who'd earned her master's degree while working full-time, who was 6 months away from defending her doctoral dissertation, became the face of a movement she never asked to lead. 2 weeks later, Patricia sat in a conference room at the State Patrol headquarters. Across from her, Trooper Derek Hammond, his union lawyer, and a panel of 3 officials. Also present, Detective Morton, Chief Brennan, and Judge Valerie Stokes, observing. The panel chair spoke. Ms. Cole, thank you for being here. We've reviewed the footage, the reports, and the witness statements. We'd like to hear your account. Patricia spoke clearly, calmly. She recounted every moment, every word, every feeling. Hammond's lawyer tried to interrupt twice. The chair shut him down. When Patricia finished, the chair turned to Hammond. Trooper, do you have anything to say? Hammond's face was pale. I made a mistake. A mistake? You thought what? That she looked suspicious? That she didn't belong in that neighborhood? That she wouldn't fight back? Hammond said nothing. The chair closed the folder. Your employment with the Georgia State Patrol is terminated, effective immediately. You will not be eligible for rehire in any law enforcement capacity in this state. A formal recommendation will be made to the state licensing board. Hammond stood. His lawyer whispered something. He walked out without looking at Patricia. The door clicked shut. Patricia exhaled. Judge Stokes squeezed her shoulder. You did it. Patricia shook her head. I just told the truth. That's exactly what you did. 3 months later, Patricia received a settlement from the state of Georgia. She didn't ask for millions. She asked for accountability. The state agreed to. Mandatory bias training for all patrol officers. Bodycam review protocols for every arrest. A public apology. Financial compensation for emotional distress. Patricia donated half the settlement to a legal defense fund for low-income drivers. The other half she put toward finishing her PhD. Patricia Cole defended her doctoral dissertation on a Tuesday in May. Her topic, systemic bias in traffic enforcement and its impact on Black women. The Henderson twins sat in the front row, holding a banner that read, Dr. Patricia. Lydia and Marcus were there. Judge Stokes was there. Detective Morton was there. Even Chief Brennan attended. When Patricia walked across the stage and received her diploma, the room stood and applauded. Not because she survived, but because she refused to be silent. Because here's the truth they don't teach you. Dignity doesn't require a title. Respect doesn't require a badge. And justice doesn't wait for permission. Patricia Cole wasn't just a nanny. She was a mother, a scholar, a survivor, and a symbol. And her victory wasn't just personal, it reminded every Black mother watching that dignity doesn't stop at a red light, doesn't bend under a bully's fist, and doesn't disappear in the back of a police cruiser. It stays. It fights. And it wins.